secure her win. 19 down to take the W, 2 in a row.
Paige, two-time preserve champion, wire to wire. Super smooth, dominant playing all around.
Katrina with the win.
It was very therapeutic for me, and I felt the calmest I've felt on the course probably since Worlds in 2021.
And your champion,
Missy Gannon.
She's Missy Gannon. Big money, Missy.
Hello and welcome to the 2025 Preserve Championships. This is your round one front nine FPO feature card presented by Simon Line. I am Raven Klein.
I'm Allie Smith.
We are in Clearwater, Minnesota. We were hoping it was going to be a little bit nicer out, but we've pretty much had rain all week.
No clear, just water.
Just, oh, that was really good.
Yeah.
A lot of rain. They've blocked off some roads. People are getting stuck. It's the good stuff. We're here for a fun round, and we've got some rain for today. Starting off hole one, a par 4, 615 feet from the tee. Most players are just trying to be anywhere in the middle of the fairway. We do have an OB pond to the left side, but the right side's all clear. A lot of players will get up to the corner, and then they're maybe throwing anything between a 250 to 300 foot shot across the water to the pin located on the other side.
Great description.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. They cleaned up a little from previous years. You may see a bit of changes or
First
adjustments.
up on the box from New York, please welcome Missy Gannon.
Smooth shot from Missy. We were dealing with a bit of headwind seemingly on every hole today, but always fun to start the day off like
Next
that.
up, let's hear it for Minnesota's own Raven Klein.
Here you are.
It's me.
How you feeling?
I always feel really good when I'm here. It definitely was windy though, and wrong disc.
Right mistake.
Right mistake.
Keeping it to the
Yeah,
right. There's
it
no out
was-
of bounds there.
From Finland, please give a warm welcome to Silva Saarinen.
Silva just picking up that win in Europe, her first Elite Series. She made the trek back over to the U.S. I think two days. Kind of a quick turnaround for her.
Very quick turnaround. I was excited to see players making it back over here, and I know a lot of them are coming because we've got U.S. Women's next week. Silva making a common error here, turning it over and landing in the tall
And from
grass, but still safe.
California, let's hear it for own Scoggins.
Owen's got the ankles exposed today. Wow, that's a bold move. Keeps that one out a little left.
It's going to be close to the OB, but safe.
Take the green flag. We saw that Silva kind of had an eye roll after her throw, turning it over, so the wind's really going to be a factor.
Yeah, just outside of a comfortable distance here to cross, so pitching up to the corner is always a safe play.
Very smart.
Not really in the mood to do anything dumb this early.
Mm-hmm. Owen also going to opt to lay up here. That's a smart play. She's really pinched off from the pin there. But Missy, prime position.
A little bit of lift there from the wind, but anytime you can kind of crash into these trees, you're not looking at anything too far outside. While Owen was throwing, we did have a weird communication problem, and Silva threw at the same time, but she did make it across.
Oh, nice. Okay. So there's your third, checking up just at the bullseye's edge. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Get your day started. Yeah.
Especially on days like this when you have a lot of weather, you'll see players, par is good. Par is fine. Obviously, you want to get your birdies, but if you're out of position, there's no point in being crazy about it. Just like Owen, pitched up to the corner, goes across, and she'll have a easy look at par.
Missy's got a birdie look here.
Just low. Center cage, though.
It's not quite raining, it looks like, for you guys. Kind of calm.
Yeah, started off more mist.
That's a great birdie from Silva. And Silva was out of position off that drive. Like I said, she had an eye roll, turned it over to the right. But must have made a phenomenal upshot there. Oh, I thought she was going to putt with the umbrella in her hand. So it must now be raining. I've jinxed you.
Yeah. It was on and off the whole round. A little
Ooh,
left side there
sneaks
for
it in.
Owen. Happy to get her par. Move on. Same feeling for
Right
me.
on. Yeah, we like that. It is definitely a hole that we can birdie, and so it may be a little frustrating, but taking into context the wind, the rain, the footing, par's great.
Exactly. We hate bogeys more than we love the birdies on some days. You know, you just want to avoid them.
Hey everyone, I want to let you know that today's video is brought to you by Thrive Market. Thrive Market is an online membership-based grocery store that brings the highest quality products right to your doorstep with savings on every order. Thrive Market lets you eat well and spend less by shopping high-quality groceries and your favorite brands without the premium price tags. And the Thrive Market app has this really cool feature. It allows you to swap out junk food with junk ingredients for certified organic and non-toxic alternatives that taste just as good or even better with the Thrive Market in-app barcode scanner. And Thrive Market allows you to skip the lines, which is a huge benefit. You're gonna be able to find all your favorite brands, plus some other brands that you might not even be able to find at your local grocery store. I like Thrive Market because it allows me to stay on budget without compromising quality, because Thrive Market guarantees the lowest prices. It's also really convenient and allows you to save time because you can use the buy it again feature to quickly reorder your favorite items. And you can rest easy on the shipping because at Thrive Market, all orders over $49 ship absolutely free with no additional fees. So if you want to give it a shot, go to thrivemarket.com/JomezPro. That's going to get you 30% off your first order and a free gift when you join Thrive Market today. That's thrivemarket.com/JomezPro. That's going to get you 30% off your first order and a free gift. You can click the link down below, or you can scan the QR code to get started today. Thank you once again to Thrive Market for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it.
All right, here we are, hole 2. Double Mando, you've got to hit the initial main gap. This is a pretty short hole at 280. You've got a generous gap to hit. I think we're going to see most players throwing a slow speed disc, a mid, a putter, trying to kind of maybe flex it a little bit on the backhand, but really just trying to get anywhere near this light tower. Before we get any further, what do you think is the easiest hole?
Ooh, today?
Yeah, played today.
Wow, that's actually...
I know, we're
I
supposed
feel
to
like
answer that,
one would have been
Okay.
probably one of the easier holes, even with the wind.
So you got to pick a different one.
So
I'm going to
pick
say
a-
17. I think it's pretty easy
I'm
to
gonna
birdie.
say 3 over 17.
Okay.
Less trees to hit.
No, we're not saying this one.
Correct.
Okay. We just talked over Silva. I'm so sorry. Here's Missy. Doing the thing. That's the gap with the backhand. Flips up enough. And
Right
there's
next to Silva's.
Silva. Yes, inside, just outside the circle. So 2 well done throws. Matching the shirt.
Yeah,
Hit the
this-
gap. Great.
It was a good gap hit, but I did get the fade that they didn't get, and so I put myself just a little bit deep of the basket. No problem, though.
And Owen putting a good little flex on that. Maybe a little higher speed disc, not sure, but checks up near Silva and Missy. It's wet.
It's wet.
Oh, a little obstructed here for
Yeah,
you.
it was right through the trees for the putt.
Oh, good angle. Nah, that's okay.
Yeah, another one of those where you want it, you can run it, but you don't need it.
There we go.
Let's see, Cash and her birdie putt.
That's more of the putt you kind of want to get your round started. She had kind of a longer one on the first hole, so that's confidence building.
Definitely. And you have a lot more airspace on this hole with the elevated basket and everything. Owen missing her putt left side chain.
I wonder if it was that tree to had to deal with.
She did have to straddle out to the right side a little bit. Silva starting strong, 2 birdies in a row.
That's a great start for Silva, and if you didn't check out the match play, you know, like this is a great bounce back for her.
Definitely.
There we go. Owen cleans up her par. She wants that one back, but you know, in these conditions. Pretty standard hole. I mean, it's nothing special. Just kind of a stock shot, really, for us.
It is. It's a pretty hole. I think that the area in the trees is like a good use of that part of the course.
I do wish that maybe I would have picked it as the easiest. It tied for 17th.
Okay.
So I don't know if I just spoiled it.
Maybe.
But it was not the easiest.
Hole 3, we have a 324-foot shot. This is one of the holes that has a double pin placement this weekend, so we're in the A placement today and Sunday. This is a pretty simple one. You only have to deal with the OB on the left side, if you could see that path during the drone flyover. Other than that, a lot of players are going to throw at the basket with a little bit of a flex, and we're having a check-in here with Hall and Hanley.
It's a good amount of hyzer on that, but flips up pretty.
That is a pretty shot. She didn't need the flex. She was just going straight at it.
Pin.
Goes just past the basket for an tap-in birdie here on the third.
And she was 2 down through 3. Great start for her. I like the aesthetics of the log that's down.
It's been fun to watch that log like almost deteriorate over the last 5 years.
Right?
Silva is leaking left toward the OB path. She's going to stay safe, but she'll have an uphill putt now.
A little bit of an overcorrection for Silva there from the first hole. Missy also has her ankles exposed. Okay, we'll have to keep our eye on that.
It's a choice.
Oh my gosh, a beautiful throw. It's got a lot of ground action from the wet grass.
Ground action, yeah. That was a color shift thrasher.
Knew it.
No surprise there.
No. You get over top of this one.
Getting over the top of it, great for tomorrow. You know, really just getting that extra practice.
Woo. Oh, but you do kind of flare back.
Yeah, that
upwards.
one was hard to see from the tee pad, but it did curl back in for a nice C2 putt at the basket.
And Owen also putting a lot of flex. This must be overstable. And no ground play, kind of a duff skip there. But they're all on the dancing floor.
Another left side miss for Owen here, but she doesn't catch any metal, and she does kind of scoot down the side of the hill a little bit. Good height on the putt. I wouldn't have changed much about it, just to miss a little bit right side. Very swirly wind here at the preserve.
And with your spin putt, getting the height down is kind of most important.
Yeah.
You'll dial in your left and right.
Exactly. Especially when we have all these head and tail winds. I'm like, you know what? If I gave it the height, I feel pretty good about that, especially from 50 feet.
Right. Ooh, Owen sneaks in that par. She's kind of having to work a little bit on the green so far today.
Yeah. This is the first year the preserve having the MVP baskets instead of the Prodigy baskets.
That is true.
So I'm curious to see if we'll notice different catch, styles throughout the tournament.
Right, with the 4 rings instead of 2. Well, and the net that Prodigy has.
Yeah. Missy is good for her putt.
As are you. You for par.
Cleaning up my par.
Even through 3, you're just like, I'm cruising. You're finding a groove.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't come hot out the gate, but you don't need to all the time.
But it wasn't cold.
True.
It's just right. Room temperature.
Just
right for par. It's great. Yeah. So through 3 there, we've got 2 ladies that are 2 down. And we actually see Cadence Burge, who is 3 down through 3.
Hey y'all, this is Kale Laviska. I'm here at the Preserve, and I have the second JomezPro Tour Series disc of the season, these beautiful swirly cicadas. I just got introduced to these on Tuesday in my practice round, and it turns out it's pretty much the disc that I've been missing right here. This is a nice hyzer flip fairway driver. So with this being a 7-speed, fairly understable, if you have that 300, 320 feet of maximum power, this is gonna be a great disc for you because it's got so much glide. I'm able to flip it up and get, you know, almost 400 feet with this thing. But if you don't have a lot of arm speed, this will be perfect for you because you can kind of turn it over and let the disc just glide for you. People have been telling me how much they like the Cicada from Discraft, and I've just been slow to throw it because there's so many discs to try, but I'm glad I did on Tuesday because this is instantly in the bag. If you want to get your hands on one of these beautiful cicadas, you can find them at JomezPro.com.
Here we are, hole 4, par 4. You've got to throw a pretty good distance size shot out the gate and kind of want to push into these trees. If you can get it to turn right, that's amazing. And then you're throwing a nice tunnel shot that a unfortunate tree has been removed. Good for us, bad for the tree, but you can see it cut down right there. It really opens the line up for this nice, beautiful tunnel shot. I also really like how behind the basket they've kind of shaved the brush so that you can actually approach shots are kind of punished if they aren't precise. And here's a big, you see a lot of anhyzer on that thrasher from Missy, and that's perfect, panned out right where I said, right in between the trees.
Shot.
Well done.
Like Allie said, you can try and go a little bit more to the right, but if you go too right, you cut yourself off from the corner. So a lot of players just try and push straight and get close to those trees.
I think this hole is definitely a challenging hole to birdie. It is not necessarily that challenging to par.
Correct.
So I think that can come into play with leaking your disc off the tee left. It's a fine if that happens.
Same mistake I've made on the last couple holes, kind of getting over on top of it. I'd love to say I've never been there before, but I have.
Right. Yeah. So not too much stress then.
Yeah, I'm just here to show people the local line, you know, really get creative with it. Oh, and with a clean shot as well, she just leaked out to the left side, which is perfectly fine for this hole.
Right in the middle, yep.
Throwing a vandal here so that I can get some turn around the tree, and kind of like we talked about from that position, just looking to get to the gap.
Mm-hmm. Looks to be executed, so we'll see what we got. But like the birdie is a bit tougher, so we're seeing you have to be in this prime position and throw a really precise shot. See if it can flex out for own. She
Good
did
shot, just low.
Yeah.
Catches a little bit of ground. Should be an easy par, if not a long birdie attempt for her.
Right, or wide open. Silva actually goes a little long. Has the opportunity to go stand still. Pulls it a little right into that tree. Unfortunate kick, aggressive left. But they have cleared some brush. They've done a lot of clearing this year.
The clearing is huge because even on this right side of the tunnel, you used to get stuck in a lot of stuff, and now you've got better footing. You might even get some ground play that you definitely didn't get before. That's probably the biggest thing I noticed upon returning back to the course this year from last year is just how clean the floor is.
Right. Missy just showed us how to play hole 4. A perfect drive, a little flip up on a mid-range, put it near bullseye. That is well done, Raven. Like, you went long of the pin from having no idea where you were going to land on your second shot. So you got a up and down opportunity here.
Yeah, I went a little more stable on the approach and obviously got some finish on it, but to be up and putting after that tee shot is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Silva goes just past the basket. She'll be looking at 15 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't even think about it. She's just going to lay up so she can tap in a par.
She's put stress on the putter already early, so I think that was a wise decision for her.
Little C2 straddle putt.
That's it. Cash.
That was the one.
Right on.
Just
We love that.
Just trying to keep up the pars.
First slow mez. Had it flat out of the hand. It was a perfect little nose release. We love it.
Felt good. It was some of those days where you might warm up your putt, and if you're a putter who uses both stances, sometimes one just feels better than the other, and Today it was the straddle.
Okay. There you go.
Silva's good for her putt to get a par here on hole 4.
And for the birdie here, Missy.
Missy, one of only 2 birdies today on hole 4.
Getting the turkey. 1 of 2. Shout out. Who's our
Natalie
second?
Ryan.
Nice. And cleaning up the par for his own. Yeah, hole 4 played almost a half stroke over par.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because I feel like even players who do get lined up with the tunnel, it's not a guarantee if you're looking at it that you're going to get up there. So well done by the card. Here we are, hole 5, 695 feet, our first par 5 of the round. This probably is one of my favorite holes. Off the tee, you're looking for a straight shot to either just stay on the fairway, or some players get a little bit aggressive and try and get to the corner and leak left. From there, you'll see forehands, you'll see backhand turnovers. If people get far enough, you might see a straight shot, but you're just trying to stay in the fairway. As soon as people start to leak a little bit left and right, you're looking at patent pendings, you're looking at lunges, and it gets a little bit messy.
Checking in with Kristen Lott. She's throwing a little fairway or a driver down that gap, like you said, kind of going more aggressive and under the tree. I'm curious if she'll have to pitch up.
Okay.
Wow, but she got all the way down there.
Yeah, that's a great shot if you can push that distance, because you don't need a lot of distance on this shot. The second shot, you're looking to get to the mouth of the tunnel. Maybe if you're feeling aggressive, you can go in a little bit, but just playing this super clean.
Just able to throw slow speed discs so the error is minimal if you miss your angle or lie. Circle 2 putt though for her birdie.
Beautiful.
In.
And that is how you play
Forehand way.
the forehand way, yes.
Missy probably showing us a slightly different way. Looking like that Z shift thrasher again. So she's going for the gap.
Yeah, that was the color shift thrasher, and she plays this trying to get the distance up into those trees.
And stay clean, just left.
Silva pulling it to the right and catching that branch, but being that spot in the fairway, she can line up a backhand turnover, which she's very good at.
Just makes her pitch up potentially a little
Correct.
longer. This is very pure out of your hand. Maybe a little high, but I mean, you nailed it, so you're happy.
Yeah.
Like I said, we kind of know a pitch up is coming. The eagle is a bit of a stretch for, I think, us in general.
Yeah. You could maybe see someone who hyzer flip up kind of deal where they really punch with like a fast, like a driver.
Like a 12 speed.
Yeah.
Not in the wind. Here's the standstill turnover backhand. She's just trying to get to the mouth or as far in the gap as possible.
Yeah, this is a great shot.
That was-
It was so effortless looking.
Yeah, really, really well.
Own shot, not quite what she wanted. She pinches herself off from the corner, but like you said, just a lot of pitch ups from here. As long as you don't find yourselves way off the fairway on the first shot, left or right, people play it pretty similar.
Yeah, see here, you're not really off the fairway too much. Maybe they counted that for the stats, but
Yeah. And
cooked it a
like
little
everything
bit.
else, getting over it.
Yeah. You're strong.
Forehand and backhand.
Strong today.
I tried to go a little more stable, thinking I could avoid that, but still on the edge of the fairway.
Missy definitely. Okay, so she's going just a little chip play, but to gain distance into the gap, not just laying to the gap.
Correct. And that's the benefit of getting further up on the fairway on that first shot, is being able to see where you're going.
Owen has to do a crazy flex forehand. Kind of puts it a little bit where Kristen just was, but maybe a little more in the brush. obstructed for sure. You get to try to do the same thing. More Annie, though.
Yeah. A little bit overturned on it.
We don't do that shot, like, ever.
Not as often.
So that was pretty good for not usually doing that.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff in the way, and I felt very comfortable throwing it, but a little overturned. We did have a headwind coming up the tunnel.
Silva just yanks one there. You know, it happens. So she'll have to try to scramble from here. An awkward hyzer out, but...
Good standstill shot, though.
Mm-hmm. She's so comfortable in the standstill. It's kind of her go-to, so she's not feeling pressure in those moments.
Definitely. This is Missy on her third shot, just doing a putter approach. Benefit of keeping yourself in the fairway.
Yeah, really well done. Shaking her hand a little bit. Wonder if it came out weird.
Just off to the side here, there's enough space to get through everything. It's just a little funky sometimes, so that was an attempt at the basket.
It was close. Put you bullseye.
Yeah.
You're around it. Good
Silva
cleanup.
good on her putt.
Mm-hmm. She's usually good for finishing the hole well if she happens to make a mistake in the hole. An air ball, like I said, this was going to be obstructed. I knew that was going to be a tough putt for Owen.
Yeah, she misses to the right side on that first putt. And then having to straddle out the other way, misses a little bit left on the comeback.
Yeah, she hasn't really had too many straightforward putts yet to get her round kind of going in that fluid motion. But Missy has dialed hers in. She's
Missy is on a roll right now. 4 birdies in a row.
Oh, what's the
so
state
that
bird?
would be the loon.
Oh yeah, I should have known that from trivia. The loon.
It's a loon.
Missy picks up a loony. We'll see if she can get a biggie bag with that loony. Well, the loony is the coin.
From
the
Canada.
loon is the
loon
animal.
Is the bird. The loony is the money in Canada.
4 down. That's amazing through 5. She picked
with
up
her-
the hard one, the easy one. Like
yeah, she got her birdie. She nice and easy. Cadence and Holland both at 3 down.
Here we are, hole 6. This is a new hole for us, par 4. We used to play this as a par 3. First shot being straight to hyzer, kind of near this grouping on the left of trees. Before we're going to turn right and throw a hyzer maybe on the right side of this kind of pine evergreen and fading slightly downhill to an elevated basket. The green is kind of small. There's like inside the circle would be some brush and obstruction behind the basket. Really the tough shot is that second one, and footing is important based off of your first shot. There's a Mando, but I think that's really more MPO if you're going to like cheat the hole, so that's not into play. It could be, but Missy leaving it a little short. She may not be in the gap.
Not quite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This looks like a high def camera shot. Like we're on a different camera. A slow run up from Silva.
Yeah. Very controlled. This hole, you can kind of see the sleeve here on the bottom right of the screen. That is the hole we played last year. So if you try and park that hole or get close to it, you're in pretty good position for a second shot.
You got a crazy air bounce and parked the basket. The tree said, okay, I can do that. That should be some decent footing.
Yeah,
right
footing's
in the gap.
Not too bad. You actually don't want to push the tree line too far on your drive because then it makes your second shot a little bit tighter. Owen leaks off to the right side here. It's a very common mistake. It can get really tricky there. She was lucky enough to throw high enough and clear that first section of trees and at least get up the hill.
And locate it. I lost one there in practice. Yeah, it's hard to really find it.
But she is cut off from the hole, so she just has to pitch to the corner.
She was playing more of the flex shot versus the kind of hyzer flip up or straight. Missy has to go through the left side of the tree.
Oh.
It was almost so perfect.
Going inside of that pine tree is an option, but there is like a wall of 5 tree trunks on the left side that you also have to clear. So it has to be more of a pushing hyzer. You can't really skip through there.
I think it speaks to how good Missy is. Like, that's not her intended play to go on the left side of that tree and, like, to execute it so well done. Like,
yeah. These 3 trees were a little bit in my way. Couldn't quite go high and over. So I also had to go inside, but went for high inside.
Yeah. And snuck through.
Yeah.
There's the around the
That-
outside.
Around the outside.
Mm-hmm. Back to the circle. And that'll be for par, though,
Correct.
as she had to pitch out.
Yeah, and Silva's, she got to that clump of trees, but wasn't able to sneak through. Missy under the pine from a knee, just approaches, goes a little bit long, but no problem.
Yeah, 15 feet and is in the brush a little bit, you know.
Silva from inside the trees there.
Good effort. Just outside. Yeah. Good birdie.
Thank you.
And a scary elevated basket. And you get the second Jomez. 2 for 2.
Yeah, it was just under those branches, and I was like, if they were any lower, I don't know if I could have done it. Or if I would have done it.
Right,
Could
yeah,
have,
would
of
have
course,
ran
I
it,
could
laid
have.
it up. Mhm.
Yeah. No, very happy to get that one. I like this whole change. I think it's fun. I like that the first shot isn't necessarily a full power shot for people. It might be for some players, but I like that you have to have some more control. Owen having another back-to-back putting situation on this hole. Still looking to find her groove. We know she's got it, but she's just struggling a little bit today.
No problem from the bush for Missy. Picking up her par. No biggie bag, though. It's got Hungry Loon.
She's got, yeah. No crazy bird for her. I'm going to tap in a double bogey here on the 6th.
Yeah, and her putting has not been too great to get her for the beginning of this round. That's uncharacteristic of Owen, what we know of her. Silva's kind of cooled off, but pars are fine. Just
Pars are fine.
grooving. Oh, we get your replay of the cool air bounce.
It was doing a lot. Missy still, she is tied for first at 4 down with Cadence Burge, having a good round here. And then we've got Holland Hanley and Hannah Wynn right behind them. Hole 7, this is such a pretty drone shot. Just avoid the water. All right, we've got a par 5, 830 feet. You're going to see most players just hyzer to safety, maybe not even trying to get too much distance off the tee, especially with the wind today. Second shot, you're laying up early of those trees. Third shot, ideally, you're crossing the water. The wind was really swirly here, but you do have a good amount of distance behind and left of the basket if you're nervous about being short in the water.
Yeah, just throw over Kate Bush is what I say. That's the bush right in front of us. Don't leave it on the right side of Kate Bush. Anywhere safe, doesn't matter if it feels short to you, because that upshot is, you've got it.
Yeah.
Missy left it on the right side of Kate Bush, but it hyzered in. It's not a problem, not a problem.
Yeah, she said she was surprised that that one even flipped up at all. She was like, yeah, that was just supposed to be a straight hyzer.
Whoa.
But the wind was doing some crazy stuff.
How
Moving
about
everybody's
clean?
discs around.
Clean flip up there.
Yeah.
Scary to throw a hyzer flip up on that water.
I'm
Windy
curious
shot.
if hers was intentional, because Missy's wasn't.
True.
Owen's probably was.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. No, there's no need to get fancy on a hole like this. It's a par 5. Everyone's got the distance to do these 2 shots and then approach. It just comes down to where you want to approach between these last 3 trees.
This needs to hyzer in. Okay, yeah. That initial camera view looked dangerous.
It did go a lot straighter than we all had expected for that shot.
Might make it'll open up maybe a different upshot than she's.
But, I mean, here from Owen to the water is still like 400
I think
feet.
so. You still go distance driver and it be
Exactly.
as long as you don't turn it over right. Yeah, you can see those trees really moving.
They were cruising.
Yep. Crushed. Boop, right in the middle. I really like this hole, the par 5. I would say, quote, it's soft, but I like it better than the par 4 that we played on the opposite
On the right
side of
yeah,
the
I think
water.
that this was a cool change to let us play the left side.
We see Silva leave it out a little. to the right. I think it checks up safe, though. We'll see. On her next throw. Oh, that disc dancing just drops. Wow. Oh, I thought she was going to go long, and then it was almost short.
The wind was doing some crazy stuff here, crossing the water. I mean, the whole hole, really.
I'm trying to keep it lively, yeah. Silva gets to hyzer around the outside. Probably not something she really practiced, but didn't matter. Perfect.
Yeah, great shot.
And that was her third, so she was safe.
Missy is in an interesting spot right here because most players are trying to hyzer across the water, and she was forced to do a turnover.
Didn't trust her forehand there. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll be
executed
asking her
it well,
about
but
that.
did send it. But like I said, there's a lot of space back there, so no problem. She can still do a long putt if she feels like it.
Left to right, aggressive.
Yeah, and it was headwind for half of it. It spun, unfortunately, got stalled.
Oh.
I did cross, which was
Yes.
nice. But
It's hard when you have to
unfortunate.
play the wind, right? It's
Yeah.
like that's not. You wouldn't have thought of anything like that in practice or a regular day.
When two of the practice days out here, the wind was all reversed. It was, on hole 1, it was a tailwind, which never happens, but it was just like, you can only practice so much, and we do get a lot of swirly stuff going on here, so.
Good par. There you go. We saw Missy lay up, so she'll also be taking a par. I talked about it being soft, but in these conditions, no hole is soft. So
That's how it feels, definitely.
it just definitely is. There you go. Their own shows us the birdie. It really feels like you can do this.
Well, and that's the thing. You don't need a huge tee shot to get the birdie. You just have to approach well. I mean, your approach can be anywhere from 180 to 300 feet, but still there.
Still there. And that's accessible to all of the field, not just the top 10 or the top 20. Like, top 40 can get that hole for birdie.
No, I think that was a great change. We saw Owen and Silva getting the birdie there on hole 7.
4, 3, 2, 1. But Cadence, 5 down through 7. Get a camera on her. Hole 8, par 3, picturesque. You've got water. I believe the OB line, you can kind of see it is a bit off the water, but not the path. So you could putt from the path if you landed there. Throw whatever you trust straight at it. Maybe a little flex. We see a lot of people kind of tend to hyzer to the left in the grass and maybe have an obstructed putt. If you push long through the woods, there is an alleyway. Hyzer flip, something. Ooh, Silva throws this one a bit too committed. Oh no, somebody threw it back.
That was a crazy reaction. We all kind of looked at each other like,
Laugh.
did
They're
you?
all laughing.
They're like, did you see that also? Like,
Joey Tamale laughing.
yeah.
What? Owen's going to show us, I think, the flex play. Yep.
Yeah.
Committed anhyzer, overstable.
Yeah,
Owen knows her distance. Yep.
somehow this direction we were also going into a headwind. I couldn't tell you how that worked, but
The pond has a current, if that tells you anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But safe. I don't know.
obviously not where I want to be.
No.
But also it's not in the water.
Yes. Preserve has a lot of these holes where it's like, I can birdie this. I must birdie it. And then you're like,
No.
okay. Yeah. Not Missy, though.
Yeah, Missy executes that so well. Great release. Her angle was super controlled.
This is a drop zone. It's on the sidewalk, pretty short. It's throw in.
Yeah.
Bogey.
Every year the branches come out a little bit further to cover your approach. But that is a mandatory drop zone, not an optional for anyone who lands in the water.
Must know May. We can see you. That's positive. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
In the circle.
There's a lot of, like you said, if you were to go too long, there's that gap through the woods. You don't want to be in the right side, but there's always a way to get out.
Here we go, Owen. Let's get you started. That's good. 2 putts, 2 birdies. Oh, she takes the slow mez from you. It's okay.
Yeah, love the catch on her follow through, even though she
She's
could have
C2,
stepped 'cause
yeah.
she's in C2.
There's the smile. Warming up. It was cold. Boop. Hey, you're one down.
Yeah, just
Does it feel like you're one down? Do you remember?
It did not feel
Yeah,
like I was.
right.
I mean,
Those first 4 pars
it was
didn't
one of
feel
those
great.
like, oh, working hard for the money today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of the pars felt better than they were, and others worse.
Yeah. 5 through 8.
Yeah, just showing up today.
Silva from her drop zone approach. Yeah, best she can really get. Yeah, it's cold. She just put her mitt back on. You know it's cold if the Finns are putting mitts on.
She did say to me, she's like, I think it's colder here than it was back home.
home.
And I'm just like, well, welcome to Minnesota.
Oof.
All right. Cadence keeping up that pace. She's 6 through 8. Missy very comfortable at her 5 down. Playing very smooth. Our final hole of the front 9, par 3, 297 feet. This is also a new hole for us this year. There is no Mando with that big tree off the tee, but the basket is perched on the side of the hill here on the right. So this is an interesting one because you might see some players, if they want to do more of a power forehand, but you risk landing on the hill and having rollaways. A lot of players are just going straight.
Check in with Hannah Wynn. She's going for the big turnover. It leaks out a little left. Definitely circle 2.
I love that play. I don't think there's any reason to try and go to the right when you can just have a putt at it.
Ooh. Hooked it right in. She didn't believe it. Slow walk it in. Heck yeah. Ooh, Owen's been throwing this disc. It seems like it's overstable, but
I feel like all of hers happen to be. They all come out.
yeah, but that's kind of near
So-
Hannah Wynn was that, so
Yeah.
looking at it.
So she does clip a couple of those branches, but stays out.
There's the thrasher Missy's been doing. This is what you don't want to do. It's kind of the only danger is the right side of this.
Felt like there was suction over there.
Mm.
Trying to throw straight. I did the same thing
Yep.
that Missy did, and Missy did end up going a little bit deeper into the woods. Mine was kind of midway through. But all you have to do here is go straight. You can even hyzer out,
Yeah.
and you're in a better position.
Yeah, I call this the bait hole. It's like it's asking you to take the bait and like
And we
throw
did.
it. You 3 of you did. Because
Yeah.
you're like, oh, it's under 300. I can definitely birdie this. But we forget about like gravity and the wind, and it's harder than 297.
Yeah. Missy and I both forced to go, to a forehand.
And you don't love a forehand reaction off the hill normally.
Correct. And hers, she has a little bit more airspace to work with, so she was able to get out. Mine had branches in the way that kept it low, so I caught stuff, left me just shy of the circle. Silva here didn't get stuck in the woods, which is nice, so she's able to pitch under the basket.
And you have to kind of go on the underneath right side of those leaves, otherwise you're in circle 2. For the birdie. Oh, we switched from straddle to stagger. A little short. I wonder why she changed.
Maybe just footing felt funny on the hill.
Yeah, balance. Love it.
Can't believe she didn't run it.
Nah, I loved it. I really do think you would. I would have thought you would have. But yeah, good choice.
That was one of those where it's like, you know what? You can concede this one because the last thing you want with the wind, where I was standing was still somehow a headwind. And I was like, no, you don't want to deal with that. Be in control of your destiny.
I was going to say, you controlled the bogey. You didn't earn a double or.
Exactly.
It's just one.
It doesn't always work like that, but if you have control and you can tap in a bogey, it feels better than missing,
Yep.
3 in a row.
Yeah. That
So
will
Missy
do it for
also with the bogey.
front 9. That'll do it.
Front 9.
We haven't seen any of Cadence yet, but she is 6 through 9, crushing it. Hannah Wynn, we did just check in. Got a lot of golf left.
Yeah, I'm happy to see some better numbers like that with the conditions that we had. You know, people just playing clean. I don't know how long it's going to stay, so I'm curious to see it.
Say top.
I mean, even you are tied for 10 right now.
Yeah.
So people really battling this wind, but the back nine gets tough on some of these holes. So I'm excited to see it.
Me too. Yeah.
Make sure that you guys check in with us here, and we can't wait to see you on the back nine.